What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Randy and I make videos on entrepreneurship. And today I'm going to be giving advice to 18-year-old entrepreneurs. However, this doesn't only pertain to 18-year-old. I would actually tell this to 14, 15, 16, and 17-year-olds as well. So the reason I'm deciding to make the video today is because the day that you guys are watching this, which is today, Wednesday, April 22nd of 2020, it is my 23rd birthday. It is my Jordan year. Originally, this video was gonna be what I would tell my 18-year-old self now. Like, what advice would I give my 18-year-old self? But I thought it through and I didn't think it'd be entertaining for you guys, so I figured I might as well make a video. I'm giving those younger than me advice because I have gone through some things and I feel like this advice will definitely help out those young entrepreneurs. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So I have 10 pieces of advice to give you guys, and the first one starts off with find a purpose. I think it's very important to find a purpose in your life early on because the more you wait, the more you're just gonna delay yourself. However, I know it's not easy to just one day be like, okay, yeah, this is what I wanna do with my life. That might seem like it's the case. However, it doesn't always work like that because I thought I wanted to do mechanical engineering before I even got into college, and look at me now, I'm studying entrepreneurship. It's not always the case, but it's always best to find your purpose early on so you don't waste time, which is actually my second piece of advice for you guys. Time is very valuable. Once it's gone, you can't get it back. So the past 5 seconds I just spent saying that's 5 seconds I will not get back from my life. The time that I'm taking to make these videos is time that I won't be getting back. Once you spent that time, it's completely gone. And an example I like to give people so they can understand how valuable time is imagine if you had $86,400 every day given to you. But the only thing you can do with that money is spend it. You can't save it up because by the end of the day, it's completely gone. What are you most likely gonna do with this money? You're gonna wanna spend it all because it's the most rational thing to do. The same thing goes with time. There's 86,400 seconds in a day, and you wanna make sure you don't waste a single second the same way you wouldn't waste a single dollar. You're gonna use every single one of those dollars, you're gonna use every single one of those seconds. And I know you guys might say, okay, sleeping is a waste of time. It's not, because this is gonna help you get re-energized for the next day. Moving into the third piece of advice, which kind of ties back to the second one. So 2 and 3 are kind of the same. And that is, if you're gonna go to college, skip community college overall. Although you can save a lot of money going to community college just to take prerequisite classes, I personally wish I would have went to a big university straight out of high school because I think I would have figured out what I wanted to do and gain experience a lot sooner. This might not apply to everybody though, because not everybody wants to go to school. And honestly, as an entrepreneur, I personally don't recommend you go to school, but it all depends on what you want to do. And if you actually decide to take a college route, I recommend you do your research on the city that college is in. I personally came to FSU thinking it was going to be great. I mean, I love it, don't get me wrong. I just honestly hate the city. Tallahassee is boring. There's nothing to do. It's a very small city. It's the capital of Tallahassee. It's just really nothing going on here. And I personally hate it from the bottom of my heart. But I love the school. And my fourth piece of advice actually kind of ties back to the third piece of advice, which is getting ahead in life. Because if you get ahead of life now, you don't have to worry about certain things in the future. You're basically setting your foundation. That way the rest of your life is a breeze. So you can think about it as a building. If a building has a poor foundation, it's more than likely to fall. If it has a strong foundation, it's more than likely to stay up for the many years there's to come. Moving on to my fifth piece of advice, once you've figured out what you want to do, now is the time to stay focused. You want to stay focused on that goal. Try not to get sidetracked because it's very, very easy. A lot of people will try to bring you down while you're on the way up. You want to focus on your ultimate goal, whether it's to build your own business, to be wealthy, to be financially free, to help out your family. Whatever the reason is, don't forget that goal. Don't ever stop dreaming and stay focused. My sixth piece of advice, this one's pretty obvious. I say it all the time, and it is to not waste money. Don't waste your money on things that aren't gonna bring you value. For example, when I was younger, when I was 18 years old, I had just got a new car. It was actually a used car, my stepdad's old car. And it was a car that I really wanted. So what I did was I put a lot of money into it and I wasted a lot of it because in the end, the car ended up getting water in the engine and completely screwed up the whole car. I ended up selling it for an undervalued price, and I ended up losing a lot of money. Another thing also is going out to clubs, spending money on drinks, cover, tables, all that stuff. It's a complete waste of money. You don't need it. At the end of the day, if you want to go out and have some fun, get some drinks. You don't need to buy a bottle or a table for that. I know it might seem like you're on top of the world at that moment, but you're only shining for that moment. And I mean, if this is what you want to do, then go right ahead. But I personally would not recommend it. It's a complete waste of money, and you can use this money towards something else. My seventh piece of advice is to be smart with your money. And what I mean by this kind of ties back to the last piece of advice. However, what I also mean is don't be like me and get scammed, because when I was younger, I was very dumb. I didn't have no guidance and I was reselling sneakers. And the problem in this industry is that a lot of people will try to scam you. They'll try to sell you sneakers for an underprice, and then you'll send it through like via wire transfer or some way that you can't get it back. And then by the time that money's out of your bank account, you never hear from that person again. And that's that. Be smart, make sure you're always protected, use PayPal, use verified payment processors, and also get stuff on paper when it comes to money, because a lot of people will tell you things and they won't follow through with it. So make sure you get it written down. Moving on to my next piece of advice for you guys is to invest all the money possible. Especially when you're younger, when you're 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, it's highly important to invest your money and try to make your own money, be your own boss as early as possible, because believe me, you do not want to be working for somebody. And if you do right now, you can definitely understand what I'm trying to say. It sucks, it's annoying having to wake up, go to a job, when you can wake up at your own time, work for yourself. That idea just sounds way better. Moving on to the 9th piece of advice, and that is to be patient with money. When you invest money into something, you can't expect quick returns. Don't ever fall for those get-rich-quick schemes. Those do not exist. The majority of people, they work for the money initially until the money starts working for them. And an example that I can give you guys is sneakers and the stock market. So usually when you buy into the stock market, the idea is to buy low, sell high. I know there's sometimes where you can get in the market and then you hear some bad news, you see everybody selling and you feel pressured and you want to sell as well. However, you got to be patient with it. Take a look at Warren Buffett, what he did during these times. Everybody's selling, the market's plummeting, and he said that he's not pulling anything out of the market. He's leaving everything in there. And the same thing goes for sneakers. This is something I can relate to personally because I flip sneakers all the time. And what I would do when I was younger is I would buy them. I would see a lot of people panic selling because the market was gonna go down for that sneaker. So I would sell right away. However, when a year or two comes down the line, that sneaker is now worth thousands of dollars versus the hundreds it was when I sold it. So I really could have made more money on my investment. However, I used to let my emotions get the best of me, and this really made me lose out on a lot of money. So my recommendation to you guys is don't let the emotions get to you. They're just temporary. Now, last but not least, my last piece of advice for the entrepreneurs, and this is kind of debatable, but it is to not get caught up on women. Don't get caught up on girls. And if you have a girlfriend now, that's fine. I'm not saying to break up with them. Don't do all that now. But what I mean is when you first start talking to a girl, the majority of your time is gonna be invested into her. And you're losing that time that you can use to focus. Now, this might be your girl of dreams, so I'm not saying to completely cut her off. You will honestly know who the right girl is for you because they will be there to support you. They will be your backbone. They will support anything that you do, and you just have a right feeling. Now, if this person is trying to deviate from everything that you're trying to do, then they're obviously no good for you. Don't let them take over you, because there is women that can do this. There's women that have this kind of power, and I recommend you guys to be careful with that. First, focus on your goal, and then focus on getting a girlfriend and this and that. And not only that, but they do cost money, so they'll be taken out of your funds and out of your investments. So that's just my personal take on that. And I know that's my last point. However, I do have one last piece of advice for you guys, which is very important. It's actually the most important of all. It's something you can't forget. It overpowers all the advice I just gave you. And that is to enjoy what you do. Make sure you're having fun. Make sure you're happy while you're doing whatever it is that you're doing. Make sure you're living life as happy as possible, because if you're not happy, you're not gonna be giving your 110% to what you do. And it's just not worth it. If you're trying to make the most money possible and you're not enjoying it, I would cut that off completely. But if making money is actually fun for you and it's your passion, then by all means, keep pursuing whatever you're pursuing. But make sure you're happy and enjoying yourself, because if you enjoy what you do, you're never gonna work a day in your life. Anyways, guys, that's it for today. If you guys can do me a huge favor and give that thumbs up button if you guys like the advice that I gave you, and also consider subscribing and turn your post notifications so you guys don't miss out on any future videos just like this one. With all that being said, I will see you guys in the next video.